My name is Carla Ulloa, and I will be presenting my final project for communications class. The topic is involved around my cybersecurity major. Social media hacking, how the spread of fake news is creating a cyber war. It seems as though social media was first utilized to simply access communication mediums for family or friends around the world. With the instant replies and adaptation to everyday life, the more time everyone finds themselves spending on meaningless junk scrolling through pages without an end. It's a great source of communication and hobby, but rarely anyone informs themselves as possible threats they click and share. Sometimes we don't even realize these attacks are disguised as fake news or how they collect information and use for later attacks. Every day, we have loads of cyber attacks all over our news feed and social media, acting as fake news stories and misspreading information. This has become a growing epidemic in the social media community. It is dangerous because it creates mishap and it's messing with everyone's emotions online. Once these emotions are triggered, any reaction to media is recorded for data purposes by analytical companies without consent. These chaos behind social media has been luring us to click on these links and websites, causing chaos, misinformation, and it's a danger in real life's public reactions. Our government has growing concern for fake news, but not always for the right reasons. Social media is a source in which many companies make money off of, like in likes, shares, reposts, by turning it into data. This data is then sold to businesses, and then these companies make targeted ads or fake news articles. This is the reason majority of us think these ads or news appearing are extremely accurate to our buying and reading needs. That's because that data is being monitored without consent. While data rights do not exist, it is a responsibility for everyone to come together and raise awareness on this privacy issue. There needs to be a reform on privacy laws allowing data to be sold that way. Now that the algorithm for creating those ads is explained, I want to explain how this works for hackers or any person trying to get your information. Majority of people think these are extremely high trained individuals, but in reality, these are criminals with just a little bit of creativity. With a simple bit of information found in basic name information or in the use of internet, many professional individuals are able to hack into any type of account. Common information found in websites and social media, it's easy to make phone calls to institutions you're invested in or work at. The work part is really important because there's plenty of people that use personal accounts in work environments, which hinder the security protection implemented by that company. Once that hacker has access to any personal account that was also used at work is now through the security implemented in the company computer and can now use that tool to take more information on the individual or the company that they work for. This can be anything from a fake email, link, or a social interaction with a stranger and letting them know a little bit too much of personal information, or even just the social media profiles. All of the information is scraped to create an attack. An example would be to have an Amazon package coming in for a new iPhone and you posted it online about it. You are so excited, but now you get an email sending you a text and it says, "Hey, we are rerouting your package. Log in to see details." Once you logged in, you now access what you think is your Amazon account, but in reality, you just gave someone your password and now they can take any credit card information shared on that account. This can be anything such as banking, social security information, and even sometimes they are pretending to be related to you. That is called social engineering and is probably the easiest way to hack anyone. It can also be a complex and very extensive process due to the fact that we have to build code and use algorithms to target certain demographics. Like social engineering, these are ways to create such attacks and have vulnerable people at risk to a privacy breach. Some of these methods include phishing, keylogger, brute force attacks, or even just a guessing technique. Social media hacking. In today's society, there is more than likely some personal information of you already online and you can never take it back. It can be something simple like a phone number or a name, or even just a social media layout of your everyday life. With the recent trends, it is popular to be connected and we have the sense of urgency to be available to everyone at every waking minute. The longer we spend on the internet without realizing these simple attacks, the more vulnerable we become to these multiple attackers or hackers. Like previously mentioned before, They are creative ways to hack an individual. Fake news has become a phenomenon that can be looked at as a black hole. It all sounds like bad news, but how can we tell the difference? For starters, we can become more attentive when signing into any of our accounts online. Doesn't matter where you're at or what device you're using. Some forms of fake news are profiles of nonprofits or aiding campaigns. When people start to sign up for these causes or create them a new login, sometimes it is a way of collecting data and breaching privacy. This goes for both parties, for any side of the argument on politics. Majority of the patterns shown are usually to target the opposite sides and to cause harm or persuade voters in using stolen information. Now, this information is being sold and used to aid any political campaign and is now affecting our own elections. When it comes to security and the standard software settings, is probably one of the things that we all choose to ignore. Standard security is not enough for common cyber threats. Majority of the time we think these are set to a level where we are safe, but it is not. Updating software as soon as possible is important because it is trying to implement security within the device. We can protect ourselves from common attacks by making sure all of our security settings are revised every once in a while. While many argue what types of devices are better, it doesn't matter the difference. Both require software updates frequently. Whether any system asks for updates is usually means security issue is fixed, and it's possible that it could be needed to have that device working properly. While many argue what types of devices are better, it doesn't matter the difference. Both require software updates frequently. Whenever any system asks for updates, it usually means a security issue was breached and it's possible that it could be needed to have a device working properly. I know everyone ignores these notifications, but it's essential to take time and actually update your settings. Another great tip to avoid these trolls is to set all personal accounts to the highest privacy possible. This will help your account be as secure as it can be, but that doesn't mean you're off the hook. Investing in a security software antivirus can prevent common attacks from occurring. Your phone is leaking information as we speak. Everyone's phone right now is looking for any types of connections, whether they be at home, work, or public connections, that is with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. But what is shared? Anyone with a computer can just see this information. This can be anywhere you are, what connections you're using, and GPS locations. A way to avoid that is not joining any open network, meaning any network that cannot be trusted, because an open network can be anybody acting like a regular connection, but in reality, they are monitoring everything, including financial information. Now, just to recap and to protect ourselves, these are just some helpful tips that I've found are very useful and are very effective. Using a two-step verification helps catch simple attacks because this usually means that a digital PIN is sent to your phone and or email, and now this email or text message is being expected. Usually hackers do not have access to two devices that you own at the same time. So this can aid with simple attacks. Now, monitoring. Stopping and think before posting certain personal information because it could have a negative effect in your life. Investigating. When in doubt, investigate and ask questions for proof of institutions and hackers that might know and research the phone number for authenticity. This means if you get a really weird phone call and they're asking for personal information or any banking information, you can also Google and find out if that phone number is correlated with that institution. If they're not, you should just hang up and not give them any information at all. Location services. Stay up to date on all personal and work and school devices. Regulate known location, terms and conditions, and any financial information. Do not let it just be in any type of device. This could hinder any piece of technology we touch, and frankly, we cannot afford that. But I hope this presentation was able to inform you on some possible holes in your own cybersecurity. But if not, great. That means you're implementing the majority of what the population is lacking on.